Hey up, Sofa Squad, and welcome to another edition of Shooting the Shit with me, Black Sofa. If you're new to this channel, do subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so that you never miss another video. So, it looks like it's just me on my own at the moment. But I have shared the invite link in the usual places. But in the meantime, I just want to take this opportunity to remind people that you can follow my Discord. The link is in the description. And if you wish to support this channel, as you can see, scrolling along the bottom there, I'm on Patreon and I'm also on Ko-fi. So you can become a Patreon, and there are various perks for being a patron. Or you can make a one-off payment and buy me a coffee on Ko-fi.com. And the relevant links to that are also in the description. Okay. So for those that maybe there's no one tuning in at the moment, but if you're watching this after the fact, later on, and you may be watching this for the first time and wonder what Shooting the Shit is all about, well, I have 2 live streams. On Thursday nights at 10 o'clock p.m. Oh, hello to my patron, my one and only patron, Greg Hartwick. Hello, Greg. Welcome. Every Thursday night, 10 p.m. British Summer Time, is On the Sofa, where me and my guests, whoever wants to join, we chat about the week's news and politics, and poke fun at politicians. But Wednesday night is Shooting the Shit night, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. And just get stuff off our chest and just shoot the shit. It is exactly what it says on the tin. But if no one turns up, I won't be here very long. I'll give people a chance to turn up. But if no one does turn up, then I'll call it a night after about 15-20 minutes. What can I talk? Yes. It's Greg is saying, let's open with what has Boris done today? Yeah, what hasn't he done? We're going to talk more about this, but people are debating whether this new deal with Australia is good or bad, and some people think it's a good thing, because we're going to get a lot of meat, a lot of beef and a lot of lamb and other meats, coming into the country at reasonable prices. And also, you can travel to Australia. There's freedom of movement between Australia and the UK. Oh, Will, Godless, aka Godless Stone, is saying hello. Hello, welcome. But others are saying that actually it only I think it only has 0.02% GDP over a period of 15 years, I think. And we had freedom of movement throughout the whole of Europe already when we were part of the EU. And Australia is miles away, by comparison. So it's only, people who are well off enough to, fly out to Australia who are going to benefit. And we have frustrated atheists with us. You guys are, welcome to come and join the chats. Let me know if you need a link, and I'll try and send you one. But like I said, we're going to talk more about that in more detail tomorrow night on the sofa, 10 p.m. Another thing that Boris has done, or that has come to the light, there's been a leakage. Dominic Cummings has leaked a conversation between himself and Boris Johnson over WhatsApp, where it seems that Boris Johnson was referring to Matt Hancock as fucking useless. So that's fun. That's going to be a fun thing to talk about. Frustrated Atheist is saying, I'm about to make a call, and I believe I'm in your group chat. If you put the link there, bud. Yes, the link is already in the Sofa Squad group chat. So you should be able to find it there. So yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait for you to, to finish your call and do what you need to do, and then we'll chat. We'll chat here. I think I want to talk about the direction that my channel is taking, because awesome. After I make the call, I'll see if I can't join for a little bit. Brilliant. It'd be great to have you here. Because anyway, my YouTube channel is don't get me wrong. I'm under no illusion. No delusions or no illusions. I know I'm never going to be, Jimmy Snow or Cirrus or or Logic. I'm never going to be as popular as them. But I'd like my channel to be a bit more popular. But it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I've got 270 subscribers when I last checked. But it seems to be for a while, for quite a long time now. It's the sub count seems to be going 270, 271, 270, 271. And I think a reason for that could be that people subscribe to my channel because they like one video that they see, but then the next video that comes along may be completely different, and I don't like it. Oh, frustrated. I could probably help with some of that. I'll explain when I join. Oh, thanks. I would appreciate it. But because my channel, there's a lot going on. It's quite busy. There's quite. I talk about I used to talk about a number of topics. Oh, Nerdy Rodent is here. Welcome. And so you may see me talking about atheism, something about atheism, or me responding to a Christian channel one day, and then the next video you see me be talking about politics, and you may not like that. And so I want my channel to have a more uniformed feel to it, a more so I'm going to be doing less responding videos and more live streams like this, like this one, like shooting the shit, and on the sofa. And I probably still will do response videos every now and then, but they won't be as regular as they used to be. And also, I've also started a channel on new video sharing platform Odyssey. I was saying, I think it's been around for a couple of years ago, but I've only just recently discovered it, because Logic mentioned that he was in the process of migrating his channel over to Odyssey, and so I thought I'd check it out. So I tried to migrate my channel, but apparently you need 300 YouTube subscribers in order to qualify for channel migration. So what I've decided to do is I'm just going to upload my response videos to Odyssey. So I've started uploading the ones that I've already made, and then I'll upload new ones when I get around to making them. So we'll see how that goes. So there's stuff happening. Good evening, Wild Eden. Welcome to the show. Thanks for dropping by. That's the direction that my channel is going in. And I managed to catch a live black sofa. Yeah, brilliant. It's good to have you along. I decided to change the time of this of shooting the shit this Wednesday night stream from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. because 11 p.m. was clashing with Sam Chaos or Chaotic's stream, pub religion stream that he does at 11 p.m. And I didn't want to do that, so I brought it back an hour. So from now on, it's going to be at this time, 10 p.m. every Wednesday, and also a new feature. Every now and again, I'm going to go, sporadically, randomly, and do a live stream, which I'm calling "Shooting the Shit Extra." So if I feel like doing a live stream, the last minute kind of thing, it will be "Shooting the Shit Extra." So that is the news that you're all caught up with Black Sofa news, as it were. The new direction of my channel and what's happening. So what else can I talk about? The thing is, I'm not very good on my own. I work better when I have someone to bounce off of. I find it very difficult to just keep talking when it's just me on my own. Which is so, but hopefully, a frustrated, Russ will be here soon, and I'll be able to bounce off of him. What else can I talk about? Thanks, Wild Eden. You're doing a grand job, though. Thanks. I am really dismayed at some of my fellow countrymen at the moment, the way they're behaving. I mean, just the other day, there was quite a violent fight, fight is the right word for it. At Southend Beach. There were lots of men throwing deck chairs at each other, basically, and it was horrible to watch. I'm just glad I wasn't there. But thankfully, I mean, apparently no one was seriously hurt. But still, I mean, I wonder about people sometimes. I wonder what. I mean, it's probably. I assume it was alcohol fueled, but even so, I mean, what is happening? What is going on? And also there was footage of this poor journalist being harassed by anti-mask, anti-lockdown protesters, following him around, shouting at him, swearing at him, calling him a traitor. And the police were just stood there doing nothing. And it just makes me wonder, what is the matter with some people? And I can understand. I mean, I can understand why some people say, "Well, I'm ashamed to be British." While Eden saying, "Yeah, I saw them chasing the reporter." Speaking to myself, Black Surf. Oh, where is Southend Beach? Good question. I think it's in Essex, which is which is quite near London. Shares the border with London, actually. I'm going to have to Google it now. Southend. Let me see. Actually, yeah, I was right. It's Essex. It's because you got Essex, then you cross the River Thames into Kent. You see, yeah, Kent is where I'm from originally. Yeah, Nerdy is saying Southend is up north for me. Yeah, it is. Yeah, north of the Thames. Everything north of the River Thames is up north. And Wild Eden is saying a combination of heat, alcohol, pandemic makes them crazy. It's only 13 degrees Celsius up here in Scotland. Ah. Nerdy Rodent say hashtag Kent. Yeah. I wonder whereabouts in Kent you are, Nerdy Rodent. You'd have to tell me in a private DM maybe. Because maybe we can grab a coffee or something next time I'm down that way. Because I visit, my parents are still there, you see. I visit them. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Oh, well, yeah, thank you. I like our English accent. Oh, good. Oh, Nerdy is saying he's on the Medway. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you're probably quite close to my parents then, because they're on the Medway too. Yeah, interesting. It's a small world after all. Going to have to move to Scotland because it's almost 20 degrees here. Yeah, it's almost 20. It's been 20 degrees here in Leeds as well. And it's been really humid with it. Greg is saying, Sofa doesn't have an accent. He talks normal. And Wild Eden is saying, I melt in the heat. I'm a cold tatty, as they say up here. So frustrated. Russ is saying, I'm booting up my computer, bud. Ah, nice one. Brilliant. both Frustrated Atheist and we both have avatars created by the same artist, Trey Baldwin. His name is. So if you want an avatar done at a reasonable price, look him up. He's done a lot of people's avatars actually, and he did one for Logic as well. And he's a really, I can really recommend him. He's a really good artist. Yeah, Trey Baldwin. Tell him Black Sofa sent you. I couldn't live in certain parts of the United States because apparently it gets even hotter. Oh, Greg has said put avatar artist into description. That's a good idea. At least now the UK, at least now the UK has a deal with Australia. We can get cheap tam-tams. And while Eden saying, I like the title of your stream, Shooting the Shit. I have one similar, Chewing the Fat on Saturday. Well, okay, I'll look out for that. Oh, his prices have gone up because he has been in high demand with everything he is doing, but he is amazing with his work. When I can afford to get a few more from Trey, I will. Yeah. I'm going to put yes, I've put, there's a link to his Twitter, if anyone's interested. And Wild Eden is saying that their stream Chewing the Fat on Saturday is 10 p.m. UK time. And Frustrated Atheist is saying his prices aren't too terribly higher. He went from like $40 to $50 to about $70 to $80. Yeah, that's about right. The avatar has excellent line work and coloring. And Greg is saying, I have a TC Baldwin print in my room. Oh, brilliant. $80 in play money isn't too bad. Oh, I've just subscribed to your channel, Wild Eden. I don't know why I wasn't subscribed before. I thought I was. But anyway, I definitely am now. So there you go. Wild Eden is saying, I do my own art stuff though. And Nerdy Rodent is saying, yep, me too. You're welcome. Oh. And we've got Harmonica Man in the chat. Well, you'd be welcome to join too. He's saying, I can't even draw fire. I can't even draw flies. Wild Eden is saying, I use Blender. I can eat a taco and stand in a museum. Talk about artsy fartsy. Apparently there's football happening. Is anyone following it? What's happening? Nerdy is saying, what's football? Is that where you have to dress up in armor and carry the ball around? Probably. But do oh, Nerdy is saying that storms have just started down where he is in Kent. And Russ is saying my computer is running a bit slow. It's just starting up, but I'm almost there. Yeah, my laptop is slow. It's I need a new one to be fair, and it's it's quite an old one, the one that I'm currently using. And apparently, new right-wing channel GB News has got off to a bit of a shaky start. People have pulled their adverts. People like IKEA and Koppenberg cider have pulled their advertising from GB News. No, they're saying ready for everything to be flooded tomorrow morning. He's also saying GB News can go suck an egg. Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember. I mean, so because I was, living in, the small village in Kent. Yeah, if there's too much rain, the River Medway would burst its banks, and then if the Bourne burst its banks as well, then the village would be flooded. Yeah, so yeah, and the last time that happened was a few Christmases ago when we were visiting my parents. But we were stuck there. We couldn't leave the village, and no one could come in for a few days. Yeah, great times. Oh, we've got Russ with us by the looks of things. Good evening.
Howdy. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Oh, it's another day in paradise around here. It's Texas, so it's what's to be expected, like normal heat and all sorts of other things like that. Yeah. So how's the weather over in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, well, this is probably quite cool for you, but it's been 20 degrees Celsius today.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. And
what is that in Fahrenheit?
I'm about to look that up now. Let's see here. Go to Google. Come on. Let's see here.
68 degrees Fahrenheit. It says here.
Oh, that's a bit on the cool side. It's not cold, but it's cool. It's what people here in Texas would probably go out in like shorts and a short sleeve shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't anything that gets below 60 though, we start going, wait a minute, what are you doing here? This is not Texas. And then if it gets below 50, it's like calm down. Like, this is not how this is supposed to go. Like, we're supposed to be hot. But 25 and the world stops. Pretty much. That's how it gets. We're like, it gets around. It gets chilly down here, and we're just like, whoa. We're not prepared for this. Can't tell you how many people I saw whenever it actually snowed here before. Them trying to drive in the snow is just like, we have no idea what we're doing. We're just like, people just keep going, and they're like, oh, this will be just like driving in any other type of conditions. Like, no, it's not. Like, black ice is a thing. Like, you keep going fast like that, you're gonna eventually hit some black ice and just speed out, spin out of control.
Mm.
No, nerdy rodent, no snow. Snow's bad, okay? That's all I gotta say about snow. Snow's bad, okay?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of snow.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you love snow. But,
Well, so my first interaction with snow was when I was in high school. All right, like before then, like the closest we had to snow was somebody had a snow machine where at one of the fairs where what they did was it just blew out ice onto the ground, which I mean that's basically what snow is, but it just blew it out onto the ground in this one little small area for us to play in. And that's because, it doesn't get cold enough to have snow normally. So my very first interaction with snow was in Texas in high school. And it started coming down, and my sister came into my room and said, "It's snowing." And I was like, "What?" it didn't register in my head. I was just like, "What?" And so I walked outside and I looked up, and sure enough, snow was fluttering down and it was sticking to the ground. Actually, they're like, there's enough for us to make snowballs and stuff like that. And I walked right back inside and I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, it's the end of the world." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "It's snowing in Southeast Texas. Hell has officially frozen over." And so, but I went outside and we played in the snow, and I played in the snow for like 5 minutes, and then the cold was there, and I was like, "Oh, no, I'm going to get now." And I walked right back inside. Real Texas snowman. A real Texas snowman is like not even like maybe a few inches off the ground. Like that's how that's a real Texas snowman right there. It's like, oh, there's snow. Let's make a snowman. Oh, we have to make a small snowman because there's not enough snow. Okay.
Yeah.
But my second ex-wife, she was from New Hampshire, and she would talk about stories of riding horses out in the snow with the snows coming up to the horse's belly, and I'm just like, no. How dare you talk about such disgusting things like that in front of me? But yeah, so you were saying you wanted to, like you understood that you're not going to be something like Jimmy Snow or Logic or any big thing, but you would still want to grow your channel a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, make some progress.
Right. Some of that has to do with you have to have an idea of what you want to do with your channel. Like if you as far as content wise, you could do things like what Jimmy or Cyrus or any of the other people do, and probably gain quite a few subscribers, like talk about a lot of controversial stuff, and eventually people would come to your channel and they'll do all that stuff. Or you can do specifically what you personally want to do, which it could be anything. It could be talking about because I know that you're on spectrum. Is it the autistic spectrum that you're on? Yeah. So you could talk about autism. You could talk about life as an autistic person. You can do or you can man, I'm not saying stop doing shoot the shit like that. You can still always do, because people love to especially once you get the following, people love to go to live streams and listen to the people they watch talk and whatnot. But the best thing to do is to have a firm idea of what general content you want your channel to be and work towards that. You can do a lot of. You can either do it live stream form, or you can do edited content. Some people, like Sirs, for instance, what he does is he does a lot of live streams, and he does it on like Twitch. And then what he does with that is he breaks, like he'll have like a live stream for like 2-3 hours where he has specific topics that he talks about. And then what he does is he breaks it down into edited content where he takes the whole entire live stream, cuts it up into into the separate categories that he talks about, and then puts them up individually on his YouTube channel. There's that way to do it. Then there's doing edited content, where if you don't have the ability to, like if you don't have enough space on your computer for, like, what do you, like, do you still do edited content?
No, well, actually, I want to reduce that because it actually takes a lot out of me.
What, as far as the editing wise goes, or what?
Yeah, as far as the editing goes.
Oh, well, that's simple. Just get somebody to do the editing for you. I mean, I have editing software on my computer right now that I'm editing stuff for my channel. I mean, it's going to slowly come out, but eventually more and more stuff will come out on my channel. But I have editing software that I can use. If you have like an intro and all that stuff, then great. If not, we can definitely find a way to get you an intro, or I can try to make one. And we can, it helps, like, but if you want to just reduce edited content, it takes a lot longer to kind of grow. I think it sounds a little odd that way, because a lot of people do a lot of live streams and that's how they grow. But like I said, depending on the type of content you plan on doing, what kind of content do you plan on doing?
Well, I was talking about this on the on the stream earlier. Yeah, I'm moving. I've decided I'm going to move to more towards live streams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have shooting the shit Wednesday nights and on the sofa Thursday nights.
Mm-hmm.
On the sofa. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that's where we chat about news and politics.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and are you doing news and politics specifically in England, or is it around the world, or what?
It's mostly British politics, to be fair, but I do sometimes
travel across the pond.
Yeah, I used to. I don't know if you know Sinease.
Yeah,
she used to be my co-host.
Okay.
And until she got a new job recently, and she used to bring in a lot of news from the States,
right?
But I don't get to see many news items from your side of the pond. So at the moment I'm mostly talking about British politics,
right?
And but that still works.
Yeah, it still works. It's a topic. Like I said, the biggest focus is trying to narrow in exactly what it is you want your content to be revolved around. And I'm guessing shooting the shit is just for talking about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then you have, your actual on the sofa where you talk about, and have specific topics in mind. Boris and Brexit is the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, it is, because is he still pretty much like the English version of Trump?
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, that's gonna be the gift that keeps on giving until he's finally out of office.
Yeah.
Whether that be due to them voting him out, or that be due to him just fucking dying or whatever. However that works. But
I don't think he's going to die I don't think he's going to die anytime soon.
probably not.
He seems quite healthy, and and I don't think he's going to get voted up anytime soon because we don't have a very good opposition party at the moment. The Labour Party it's
just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
So people are leaving the Labour Party in their droves at the moment, and people just they're not inspired by them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the issue is like you need to have a candidate that is either inspiring or someone who for instance, Boris has to become such a horrible candidate that even just someone that you view as the lesser of two evils would end up. That's the only way is to have the horse become just like even worse than what he is now. For someone to be like, okay, we're going to finally vote him out, or just have someone that's inspiring, and it's really, really difficult to have an inspiring candidate.
Yeah,
and I think that's true within politics in general. Is like whether it be in the States or whether it be over there, because candidates just. I don't think Boris would incite an insurrection, though. This is true. He might. He probably would not. But I mean, Trump wasn't very smart.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. He wasn't very smart.
No, it was Boris.
Yeah. But, I think Boris is a lot smarter than people like to assume because there's been several things that I've seen where people he has said something, and the way that some people have described it, it seems as if he knows what he's saying, he knows what he's doing, but he does it in a fashion that makes it look like he doesn't. And so Trump, on the other hand, he doesn't know what he's doing. And he didn't know what he was doing, and he didn't. There was no ultimate plan behind anything. It was just him just being a dumbass, really. So it's quite. If they don't vote for Boris, it's the party. Yes, is that what it is? Is like. They just are voting for it because that's the party.
But I think it is Boris as well. Boris, he's a lovable buffoon.
Yeah.
Kind of a character, and people love him.
Yeah.
And I think Trump did Trump say at one stage that he could shoot somebody in Times Square.
Yeah,
and people will still vote for him.
Yeah, he did say that.
I think the same is true. You could say the same for Boris as well. He could shoot someone in the middle of London,
and people would still be all on board with him.
Yeah, because no matter what he does, he keeps going up in the polls, in the opinion polls.
Yeah, yeah. Trump. The thing is Trump had a very loyal fan base. There were some dissenters who were like especially towards the end, who were like, no, we some dissenters in the Republican Party that were like, no, we need to get him out. But he had a very loyal fan base, and his loyal fan base definitely thought that he could do no wrong. Trump could have you could sit there and say Trump said 2 + 2 = 7. And people have been like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He never said that. And then you show a clip of him saying 2 + 2 = 7. Okay. and they'd be like, well, you see, when you think about it, the logic behind it, blah, 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 blah. And he's right. And it's like, dude, just Shut up. You know he's wrong. Just stop it.
Yeah.
So it's quite Trump. Like I said, Trump, his fan base is just very, very. Let's see. What did I say? I don't think that a person who gets fired from a newspaper for telling lies should be the prime minister of Great Britain. Yeah. I mean that personally would, I like that'd be bare minimum criteria for me. Is like, oh, so he got fired from a newspaper for telling lies. Yeah, I don't think he should leading the country if he's going to lie to us like that.
Wild Eden was asking, what do you think of the Scottish Prime Minister?
I have no idea. I don't like that's why I would be a terrible host or guest to talk about the news here, because I don't involve the news here a lot unless it absolutely affects anything that's going on with me at the moment. I don't tend to look at it too much. So I have no idea. So if I don't even know much about my own politics, I definitely don't know about foreign politics.
Nicola Sturgeon, she's technically she's not the Prime Minister of Scotland, because for her to be the Prime Minister of Scotland would have to be a country in its own rights. She's the first minister of Scotland. Scotland, they do have a devolved parliament, but they, where they do have, quite a lot of their, their own political power, as it were. But they don't have full independence, so she's not the prime minister in that sense. She's the the first minister.
Yeah.
Nicola Sturgeon, she's the leader of the Scottish National Party, and but unlike the British National Party, the Scottish National Party is, it's left. They're on the left side of the political spectrum, whereas the British National Party is on the far right side of politics.
Yeah,
and I think she's a politician. And she like most politicians, unfortunately, I think she'll say whatever it takes to get to hold on to power and to get more power.
Right.
And she's promising that. Wild Eden is saying, yes, that's true. My error. I keep thinking of her as the Prime Minister. Nerdy is saying, I was against Scotland leaving before, but now I think Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales would be better united together and in the European Union. Well, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. But
I think all of y'all would have been better off in the European Union still, but
yeah.
And from my understanding that there have been even hard people who were really, really for Brexit, that when it actually happened, they were realizing that, oh, this is bad, because I think one of it was lady who owned a business. She wanted to. She was all for Brexit, and she was like, "Yeah, that's the greatest thing. We need to be, the United Kingdom." Blah 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 blah. And then Brexit happens, and she actually had to end up shutting down her business because she couldn't get. I think it was something to do with the ferry or her product. She couldn't get her product because of all this different like taxes that came involved with Brexit or something like that, and so she eventually had to shut down.
Mm.
And it was like, it's like, well, maybe y'all weren't as good off as you thought you were.
Yeah. I think the problem was, looking back,
Mm-hmm.
David Cameron, who was the Prime Minister at the time, he had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem was there was this political party called UKIP, the United Kingdom Independence Party.
Yeah, I know, and freaking, they had Sargon in there.
Yeah, that's right.
For a while.
For a while, anyway.
Yeah, until they were like, oh, yeah, no, let's not add him.
Yeah.
Let's not keep him there.
He wasn't, but they were, at the time, they were a growing party, and they were taking voters away from the Conservative Party. And so, David Cameron, backbench MPs,
Mm-hmm.
They were putting him under pressure to do something about it. And so he had to appease them, and he had to do what he could to win voters back from UKIP back to the Conservative Party. And so he came up with the idea of holding a referendum.
Mm-hmm.
Said, okay, if you vote for me in the next general election, there'll be a referendum on Europe. On yes, do you want to stay in the European Union? Yes or no?
Mm.
And I think that he genuinely believed that the referendum was going to go his way. He didn't think for a second that people were actually going to vote yes to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they did. They voted to leave, and he basically said, I don't want to deal with the hard shit, so I'm leaving. And poor old Theresa May was left to pick up the pieces. Nerdy is saying David Cameron had a problem. He was a twat.
Yeah.
And yeah, he totally thought he'd win. And the problem was, he and George, his second in command, if you like, George Osborne and others, they warned us that leaving the European Union would be a mistake, that it would be a bad idea, it'd be bad for the economy, it'd be bad for business, that that farmers would lose their would lose their farm, lose the farm basically. That would be bad for the fishing industry. But we all put that down to Project Fear. People just call it Project Fear, and we didn't believe them because they're Tories. Tories never tell the truth.
Of course not.
They're just lying to they're just lying to us to get their own, to get into power like they always do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of us Brits said, "Up yours, up yours, David Cameron. We're gonna fuck you up and vote to leave because we don't believe a word you say."
Of course.
But it turns out they were actually telling the truth after all. exactly what they warned would happen if we left the EU is now happening.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, is that a lot of people, like, it seems that pretty much it's like they didn't want to believe it because the Tories said it. And that's where it kind of gets to be a big issue, is because it's just like, oh, so you end up fucking yourself, really. To put it in blatantest terms, is just because that's exactly what's happening. Is you're just, oh, well, we're just not going to believe them just because they're Tories. And it's not like, hey, maybe we should actually look into what they said. Maybe they were right. But that's why they say hindsight is 2020.
Yeah. But what else happened on the other side of things? The Leave campaign was strong. Take back control. A simple slogan that everyone, and a simple slogan that everyone could get behind. And that is one way to manipulate people is with simple slogans, simple memorable slogans. Take back control. Get Brexit done.
Yeah, and then
Make
over
America
here,
great again.
Exactly. These simple slogans is what we hear, and we're like, yeah, that sounds about right. Let's go with what that person said. These simple slogan people, just like, I don't know. It's just like when you're voting, you're relying on what's happening to your country to just be based off of a slogan. It's pretty, yeah. Oh, here, Nerdy Rodin says, make me richer. Vote against your own best interests.
Yeah. And
you know what, Nerdy? You've convinced me. I'm going to make you richer now.
But that's what happened. Dominic Cummings, he's a very clever strategist. And working together with Cambridge Analytica, they were able to strategically target voters, using Facebook, advertising in Facebook, mainly, and other social media outlets. And they ran a strong campaign to leave the EU, and it worked. People were being manipulated into voting to leave without realizing it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And now we're paying the price.
Yeah.
Or rather, British farmers are paying the price. The British fishing industry is screwed, as Nerdy so rightly said. Excuse me.
Yeah, and people are hurting.
Yeah.
And it's aggravating to see, but I mean, in all honesty, as much as it's aggravating to see, we do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like the MO of people in general. We tend to just vote against our own best interests because of whether it be a slogan or whether it be due to, anything. Like here's an example. Here in America, we do you know how marijuana became illegal?
No, I don't.
So back during the Mexican Revolution, where Mexico was in a state of revolt, we had gotten an influx of immigrants coming from Mexico, and with them they brought the Spanish language. They brought their customs, and that included using cannabis as both a relaxant and a medicine, and like the Mexican people called it marijuana, and so people who were white were really terrified of this influx of immigration. And what ends up happening is somebody ends up, and his name is Anslinger, ends up pretty much bringing forth the idea that marijuana is makes minorities violent and makes them want to sleep with our white women, which just played into the fears, and then it was blasted all over the media. The same thing with playing into the fears of people being terrified of the immigration. Little did they know that the same drug that they were rallying against was the same drug that was common in every single medicine cabinet of every white person, because most medications at this time contain cannabis, and they're trying to make cannabis. They wanted to take cannabis, pretty much make it illegal to be sold, to be used, and everything. And so they did this without even realizing it. They had no idea that what was going on was that they were taking away the cannabis out of their own medicine cabinets. And this obviously was fueled from hatred of pretty much minorities. And so people voted against their own interests because of hatred in this instance. And then there's always the slogan followers who just, they go after the slogans. They go after, the little short, quippy little things. Make America great again. Get Brexit happening or whatever. Whatever the slogan is, they go for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, God dang, it's like, y'all are just idiots. That's all I gotta say about this. It's just, you're just idiots.
Yeah. Double Down News is a good channel to watch, because they talk about this sort of this sort of thing, and how how we're really an oligarchy. Because certainly the the United Kingdom, and I guess the United States as well, is really run by these rich oligarchs. Rupert Murdoch, for example. He through the newspapers like the Times, the Sun, and over in the United States too, with Fox News, controls a lot of the media, and influences how people think. And certainly in the UK, if you want to become prime minister, you need to be friends with Rupert Murdoch, basically.
Yeah.
So they go into a lot more detail of how these oligarchs have been running things for ages, for years, decades even. So yeah, Double Down News.
Yeah. Oh, Nerdy says it's okay. Climate change will kill us all soon anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Nerdy. That's a nice optimistic note.
And I'm ready to get my day started now, Nerdy. Thank you.
Anyway, thanks for coming along, Russ. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna I'm gonna wrap things up. Is there anything that you want to plug before we go off the air?
Nothing just yet because I'm still working on stuff. But pretty soon I'll have things I'll be plugging away or whatever. But right now, got nothing really going on.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's been watching, and if good night. Wild Eden is saying good night, sleep well, Black Sofa and nerdy rodent.
Yeah,
You
good night,
too.
y'all. Yeah, Wild Eden, yes, I will have a great day. Thank you so much for saying that. But yeah, I hope y'all all sleep well over there across the pond where it's nice and bedtime-ish.
Yeah, thanks, and have a good day yourself.
Well, thank you, thank you.
And if people, if you're watching this, later on, and you've gotten this far into the video, and if you're new, do subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video. Okay, bye for now.